Here they are, nice and hot out of the oven. They look amazing, they smell amazing. What I got going on here is I have some water boiling with a little steamer basket in here. So here's kind of the trick you have to understand about cruciferous vegetables. You have to partially cook them if you're going to be roasting them. And the main reason is it's kind of like you have to get them a little wet, right? So if I were just to take these Brussels sprouts, throw some olive oil and throw them in the oven, yes, they are going to cook, but they're going to get more crispy than they are going to get fully cooked on the inside, if that kind of makes sense. Blanching your vegetables, which would be like your broccoli, your cauliflower, your carrots, your Brussels sprouts, it's gonna be helpful to have those partially cooked in some sort of water, steamer, and then you can roast them or throw them on a pizza. Much more helpful, right? I'm actually going to quarter these. It's going to just allow it to have a little bit more even cooking, okay? And maybe it's just a little bit faster. So I'm gonna just go ahead and throw them right in here in this steamer basket. We don't need a whole lot of time. If you wanna just throw them in the boiling water, you can do that too. This is just making it easier for me to fish things out. Meanwhile, I'm gonna work on our red onion. Kind of a fun way, or maybe it's corny, way to cut an onion. So I always say kind of cut off North Pole, turn it around, cut off South Pole, at North Pole, cut it in half. Now, I'm just gonna actually cut this onion into thirds, then I'm gonna turn it around, cut it at a little bit of an angle here, and then I'm going to kind of, and this is what they might call like a rough chop, right? We're not measuring it, this doesn't have to be perfect. And then we have these nice little pieces of onion. I'm just going to kind of shake this around just a little bit, even it out. That's almost done. I have just a big mixing bowl. All right, all I'm gonna do is go ahead and add in my pre-cut, pre-cooked or blanched Brussels, my red onions. Okay, I'll go ahead and throw these on there too. We've got a nice blanch on those as well. So it's about 3 cups. Now that makes it a little hard when you have a huge Brussels sprout. So within reason, we have our olive oil kind of measured out. And this is the kind of the best way to make sure that you can evenly toss this, because once it's in a bowl, right, we can kind of mix it up. Then we're gonna sprinkle on our kosher salt or sea salt, either one, okay? And of course we can use a spoon and stir it. Then what we're gonna do is place this on a baking sheet, put it in the oven at 425 for about 15 to 20 minutes, pull it out, and we'll add our balsamic glaze. Before we go ahead and throw this on a sheet pan, I just wanna also remind you, there's so many other seasonings we could add to this. We could do rosemary, thyme, fresh garlic, even maybe a little bit of ginger. So there's a lot of versatility to this recipe. Go ahead and place this nice and evenly onto your baking sheet. What we don't want is we don't want it to kind of simmer and steam in there. So if it's overcrowded, that's what it's gonna do. So you wanna really get it nice and kind of spread out so that everything can kind of cook more evenly and get some of those onions kind of broken up just a little bit. All right, and then we'll go ahead and put this in the oven and we'll see you in about 15 minutes. Here they are, nice and hot out of the oven. They look amazing, they smell amazing. So what we'll do now, quickly while they're still nice and hot, is we'll place them in a bowl and we will add our caramelized balsamic glaze. All measured out. Just literally just going to put your glaze all over the top, kind of get out any of that extra because it's so good. All right, and we're just going to mix it and toss it. And you can kind of hear some of these little pieces of the Brussels sprout that came off are a little crispy. So it's almost like a little Brussels sprout chip. You got kale chips, Brussels sprout chips, all of them. Nice and evenly coated. This is the better way to do it versus on the sheet pan. So you got a really good flavor in every single bite. So enjoy. Thanks for joining me today. And for more awesome healthy recipes, you can find my book, Cook Smart, Eat Well, anywhere you buy books.